Hey, it's Nate here. It's been a while since I've been behind the mic, but we've had some things going on, like behind the scenes ideas that we've been kicking off. I'm still weighing in on ideas as I'm not on the main channel of the show and the way my schedule works out. So, Charlie, Pete, Anna, and I, we were all talking, and it made sense for us to go into the vault because one of the things with podcasting is sometimes you have ideas that work out. Sometimes you have ideas that do not work out, and maybe they need to be buried in the backyard and cemented over, and then grass put over that cement, and then let earth do its thing. That kind of thing. So, not everything always makes it to air, is what I'm trying to say. And we had promised something a little while ago about a Seagully, and maybe someone on the show who will not be named was really like foaming at the mouth about these. Kind of just a hostile takeover when it came to talking about the Seagullies. Once again, that person shall remain, unnamed. Um, but what that comes across to is, what do we do with this stuff? It doesn't feel right to delete it. Doesn't feel right to, charge someone for it because it's stuff that we didn't feel as a whole should be on air. So, this is the first and only Steven Seagal track that was promised ever so long ago in its raw, purest form. You do not. I encourage everyone to listen to the entire thing, but I also understand if you don't make it through the entire thing. But if you do, I don't know, you can, let us know how it worked out. But I swear this is the only Seagal you're ever going to get. It's one that is lucky to see the light of air. And you are now lucky enough to say, hey, I got to experience the Seagal. So, without further ado, I tried to warn you.
Can I laugh in your face?
That's right. It's finally here. It's me, Steven Seagal. And we're going to do the Seagullies. Finally. It's only been like 2 years, but there was a lot of legal process. And it turns out lawyers that are going against each other don't really like to get along. And then we had to figure out that there was different ideas. It was like a Fox show where we kept rebooting the show before it aired, and everything had to get approved by me, Steven Seagal. And so now, what the Seagullies have turned into, it's gonna be me, Steven Seagal, doing a Seagal track the first time ever this has been done, along one of my movies. And, I'll talk about my history with the movie, about the movie, what's happening during the movie, uh, maybe what one of the key grips did during a certain scene. It's really to be determined. And because this is new, there might be some hiccups along the way, but don't worry. I think we already have that planned out. So if there's any dead air, it's because I'm taking a drink from today's first sponsor, Steven Seagal Energy Drinks. That's right. Steven Seagal Energy Drinks are the number one drink to listen or drink while listening to your number one podcast show, the Steven Seagal Show, where we talk about movies. Well, it's a live track about the movie. And when you're drinking Steven Seagal energy drinks, what's going to happen is you're going to feel all of your chi come unblocked. And that's the Steven Seagal zygotes working their way into your bloodstream. The Steven Seagal zygotes will karate chop and rip the arms off of cancerous cells, sleepy time cells, uh, STD cells, um, chlamydia, which, yeah, it's what the Steven Seagal energy drinks, the Seagal again. It's when you take my name and a dragon and you combine the two. So if there's any weird pauses, it's brought to you by Seagalgan, the Steven Seagal dragon-based chi blocker energy drink. Now, for today's first episode, I decided to go back into the vault from like 2001 through 2003, maybe 2004. And we're going to talk about the movie Exit Wounds. So, if you're pop in your copy of Exit Wounds or buy it on Prime, or I don't know, maybe there's a Steven Seagal web-based studio now. Like, if you did that, and then you could, well, if you did that, well then, what? Oh, all right, Exit Wounds. I was being told by producer that you need to hit play um, on your Seagal station now, and that way we could be on track. I hit play. Did you hit play? You should be seeing some like that's the back lot of Fox, I think. No, it's Warner Brothers. Actually, they did the back lot. That's real wavy during the sun. They quit doing that after Snack Cider bought DC, and then Snack Cider and Warner Brothers. Now they show the Batman logo before any movie. Ah, yeah, Village Roadshow. That's what we used to call my old home that I grew up in. This is Mitt Romney. We were able to get him for a really low cost. He wasn't like doing anything. I think he might have been like the president of Utah. So he was pretty free. And the whole movie was filmed so we could get a Mormon tax break. Um, and so it was filmed in and around Salt Lake City. Um, During this scene, Mitt Romney just had to give a political speech to his constituents. Now, I used to ride in an El Camino in 1973. El Camino, pitch black at all times. Every time that we needed the El Camino, I just went to my garage and I grabbed it. Now, this documentary is about the time that I had to protect President Mitt Romney. And there was a really suspicious guy who was wearing an earring. And I was like, what the heck? Hey, you don't wear earrings around here. And so that's when I knew that president of Salt Lake City, Mitt Romney, might be in some trouble. So I decided to have a seat and I decided to assess the situation. And now I'm looking through the whole place and I'm scanning it like I am a T-1000 or a Robocop. And so the whole screen right now is like red and it's scanning and I don't see any bad guys. So the coast is clear. I'm doing really good at my job. And back when I used to work at the Milwaukee Police Force, I would do the same thing before we'd go in and, get the perp. Now, sometimes getting the perp might be me hiding in the drywall of a house for 32 hours, and I only live on the pellets of rats. I had to eat them in order to survive. And then I would scan the room, and that's when I would decide if there's a sex offender in the room or not. If there was, then that's when I would use Morse code tapping on the back left wall. This would then let my friend, Chris Hansen, know that there's a registered, well, soon to be registered sex offender in the vicinity of the house. And so then Chris would go in and he'd bust him. He'd like, have a seat. You want a slice of pizza? You know what I want on my pizza? Arrested pedophile. And then I would come in and I'd break their elbows from their arms. And then I'd read them their Mandy rights. And then I'd put handcuffs on their broken wrist as well, because after I broke their arms from their elbows, I broke their wrist too. So the whole femur was just fucking bent to hell and back, completely useless. And then Chris Hansen, he'd go in and he'd take him to court or something. I really only helped with the breaking of the wrist and the elbows. Oh shit! Now in exit wounds. This guy's got M260 from a helicopter, and there's a guy. Oh my! He was dual wielding. That was a really good shot. He looked like a painter, and he was. But then I shot him like 5 times. Fucking blood everywhere. I made sure that even though he had 2 pistols, I had one, so I got the job done, just like Chaperone always talks about these days. How? Well, you're gonna see. Oh, we had to film this explosion on the bridge, but Mitt Romney, he wasn't in it. The bad cops, they all had that gun that you could get in Rainbow Six on the 64. It's like the Russian one that's not an Uzi. It's got like a little loop in front of it. You might be able to get a big no. I don't know. The M260. Oh man, that police car. He just flipped like 7 times. I think it holds the record to this day of most car flips done in a movie. Um, Now this was an actual ice cream truck that drove on the bridge. Didn't know that there was a gunfight going on, and so the ice cream truck ran into the cop cars. But good thing it was the bad cops. I mean, it fucking squished the guy. Really saved the day because I still hadn't made it there. So the ice cream truck now it started to go backwards. It was like, oh, Mr. Romney, guess what? And I took off well, the ice cream truck driver took off his hat. It was me, Steven Seagal. I was there to save the president the whole time. I wasn't an ice cream truck driver. Got you. Now, the Secret Service, they're using MP5s. The MP5 was pretty standard back then because they were cheap and affordable. And my friend Nicolas Cage would sell them to him. But he'd sell them to him up until his brother Jared let him. He sadly passed away. I attended his funeral where his other brother wore eyeliner. And I think he played like bass in the band. And then I was vocals on it. And we wrote a hit song about how we were 30 seconds from Mars. I toured with that band all summer. There were some long nights, lonely nights in the hotel rooms, followed by lonely nights. Oh my God, I blew up that helicopter with my pistol. And I took out the spring, so it was a fully auto pistol, and I shot at it honestly only twice, and that managed to fire 6 bullets, and it blew up the helicopter and right in the air. Those pieces, they probably fell. I know they definitely impaled one of the bad guys, and then one of the other ones it chopped him in half. And I saw his guts. It was really bad when he was bleeding out everywhere. So I walked over and I gave him the old helicopter tap, and I took him out of his misery. I fired the bullets twice, and then he was dead. He went, and I blew off his index finger and his ring finger, and I kept the ring, gave it to his wife, and let him know that his death was not in vain, and that he definitely will be remembered, and that before I brought the ring over, I took it to a pawn shop. The pawn shop said it was worth $25K. I didn't pawn it because I'm a good guy and I don't need the money. Because I've recently got a paycheck from the Milwaukee police force. And so, if she wanted, she could sell the ring for $25K. That's like 6 salaries worth for an officer of the law before he passes. And so, really, us officers of the law in Milwaukee are not getting paid enough. And that's the real crime of the story here. Now, in this scene, this is where they decided that I was fired from the police force. Apparently, blowing up helicopters, blowing up a bridge, saving President Salt Lake, and killing all the bad guys, all of them, is against the rule book. But what I told them is show me where the damn rule book it is when presidents get kidnapped and the terrorists have machine guns from floating helicopters. Captain, shut him up. But then I still had to turn in my badge and my gun. And it was a really rough go. I took some hard times, some hard drinks. It's a hard life. It took us 103 takes to get the captain and I on the same emotional level about me needing to turn in my gun and my badge. So, we probably had it on like the 79th take, but I just really felt like we had to keep going. And on the 103rd is when I felt comfortable that he was giving the performance that I needed from him about, he's letting it go, the best officer on the entire case in the precinct. That's a lot. And I really needed him to sell it because I need the core audience here to have an emotional tie with this as well. And that's when we got it. Sadly, I had to start wearing sweatpants during this time of heartache. But it's when I met this total raven hair, you know, goth babe working at another precinct. And I was like, I'll just apply there. And so they hired me because it turns out when you turn in your gutted badge, you could just get a job at another police department. They look over your resume and they go, hey, it's okay. You will hire you. But if you're going to play, you got to play by the rules. And that means we know what's on your search history. And if your search history shows like, you know, BBDD, Raven Hair, Goth Baddie, Visit Stepdad, then we're going to know. And you're not allowed to work here anymore. So I put my hand on the holy book, which is the book I wrote, which is called A Sheep Among Coyotes. It's about how you should not be a sheep among coyotes like me. You need to find your pack. And when you find your pack, only then can you really elevate yourself into what is a true Zen like animal devouring. Now, these devourings, this is what you and your pack will do. And that's why I was not allowed to do that at this job. Instead, I got some damn pencil pushers down my neck about parking tickets here or there, or murderers that might get away. And I got this new baddie of a captain telling me I need to visit AA meetings because I'm too angry. So now I'm at Anger Anonymous to prove that I I've calmed down since I shot down a helicopter and killed all the bad guys, and that all this pent up rage is leading to my search histories being investigated or would be. So I agreed, and I've got to be honest, guys. I hated it. I was so angry in these classes. I mean, what's this woman know when your third partner is bleeding in your arms and he's dying out in front of you and his blood's all over you? And it's all because that drug kingpin got away with it. What does she know about that? Huh? What about your 17th partner who had to come back from retirement where he was a door greeter at Walmart? And that's when there was a flashbang went off and he fell on it. And they told he was brought back to the force because that was not in the Walmart handbook. And now he needs to pay for his divorced wife's alimony from his 13th kid. Huh? What does she know about that? No. All she knows is about what we should be feeling. I'll tell you this. Steven Seagal, those feelings died a long time ago. After I put the bullet into those enemies, and I watched as the wound exit their body. Yeah. As this would be not my first visit to an Anchor Anonymous class. I actually could not get out of that student chair. I, as you know, 6'10", 185, 11% body fat, 89% muscle. You can't let some student chair bury me, and you can't tell me that I can't kill the terrorists. And now you know what? When I get out of here, I'll go get me a pack of Marlboro Reds. So I ripped that chair out, and I stormed out, and everyone cheered for me like they did when I watched that kid named Jordan light a cigarette as a junior, I think, in high school. He lit it, and he walked out that cafeteria, middle finger in the air, and then we all applaud. We don't even know why we applaud. It was just so cool. I never saw him again. I think the school let him graduate, actually. And he won. Like, I think, and this was before YouTube or TikTok, so it couldn't be documented, but this is like breaking Seagal news. Like, Jeremy beat the school system before it was known that all you had to do was challenge them. And that's what he did. He lit a cigarette. Just like I was going to challenge these street hooligans that were trying to steal my truck. And, I let them borrow this wardrobe. They're wearing these very fancy Jinko shirts with like ninjas. Oh, broke that guy's fingers. I ripped that guy's arm off. I had to throw this guy into a Pontiac, but they understood the owner. I left my insurance. I kicked that guy in the gut so hard that he was pooping black for a year. Broke that guy's knee. Made that guy take a baseball bat to his friend in the neck. That friend, he had a weapon, so then I stole his butterfly knife. They tried to shoot me, but I'm Neo. And so I dodged the bullet, took my right hand. I bounced off the asphalt, used my right leg. I kicked the man in the temple. And that's how, and then I stole his gun too. That's how I took down 7 people and kept my truck. And they're all under arrest because now that I work at a new precinct, this is how I'm going to get promoted. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to human centipede him. This guy's leg's going to be handcuffed to this guy's arm. This guy's arm is going to go backwards through another guy's arm to chain link, kind of like a daisy link into his buddy's arm. And they're really pretzeled now. And that's when I call the police and I'm going to, let them book it. That way I could go back. I'll file all the paperwork. Then I'll get that new promotion I've always wanted. The song that's playing right now is Ain't No Sunshine. I told DMX that he should cover this song. And so he did, and that's where the story was born for this movie. So then we decided that this would be the perfect time to have DMX appear in the movie. And it was DMX was a real good guy back then. I mean, he came prepared. He knew all of his lines. I mean, he practiced ancient shinjitsu, kung fu with me. He also practiced the element of disarming your enemies with their own bones. He was a really good student. He was so good that I tried to do the same thing with Ja Rule a couple years later. Well, on a set of Half Price Dead, and it didn't go well. I gave him some ideas about a music festival during that set. I talked about the internet. I talked about how digital money will will become a thing, and that if Ja Rule made digital money, that I mean it might make more money than the current U.S. currency, which is thriving in a post-war during this time because we had so much oil. I mean, 2001, post 2001. I mean, we had Team America on our side. I was overseas on secret sniper missions, long dreams, long nights, and a lot of pockets. I mean, cargo pant pockets, vest pockets, jacket pockets, inner liner pockets inside your vest, inner liner pockets inside your jacket. You know, if you forget where your dip is, you might be searching at least like 12 pockets. If there's an IED goes off, that's an 11 more pockets to find your keys to the Humvee to get out of there. That's also assuming that there wasn't like a terrorist that put a bomb in one of the other 10 pockets that isn't holding your keys or holding the other thing. So at the time, there was a young and upcoming comedian named Anthony Anderson. I met him through Jim Carrey, who I was writing his latest stand-up special for. And so Anthony Anderson and DMX came up in this really badass yellow Hummer that my good friend Tom Arnold, who also stars in the movie, he let him borrow. Tom Arnold won the Hummer from the divorce with Roseanne. Um, it was hers that she won from the third season on Roseanne. And NBC just said, hey, we're going to renew you for a fourth season. You should have this yellow Hummer. And so she gladly took it. But Tom Arnold was the one who always drove it. And so when Tom and Roseanne were in the heat of their divorce, and I told my good friend Tom back then, buddy, you just get the yellow Hummer. I mean, just let her have all your Tom Arnold riches from True True Lies. And then when she's got all that money, you'll have a yellow Hummer. And Tommy, who's the real winner there? I mean, really, think about it. And that's how the yellow Hummer ended up in this movie. Now, we had to fill some fillers, so they're in here at this dealership negotiated or something. Honestly, if I was you, just fast forward this part. There's a fake Tony Todd in this movie. He's being a fake Tony Todd car salesman. Uh, I don't know. There's just nothing of a. Oh, this one car, though, that DMX is eyeballing, it's got those doors that kind of open up like the Back to the Future car, but they go forward instead. And then when you close them, they go down. So they're not going like, not left to right, up and down, but like north and south, up and down, but at a reverse 90-degree angle. So that's what these doors do. And I don't remember, they might drive it through the window. We're going to find out together, audience. Actually, they might throw them a duffel bag full of money and then drive out the window. Well, that wouldn't make any sense. Why would a criminal pay for something? They're a criminal. I think what they're going to do, we're going to find out together. All right. If you didn't hear that, he told DMX to shut the motherfucking engine off. I hope you heard that. If not, I'm sure my producer will edit that clip in later. That'd probably be a smart idea for future producers. Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna make it yet. Yeah, You mess up one coffee order, you're gone, mister. Yeah? This is why you don't have a mic either. Uh-huh. Is that so? You should probably go get in your car. You could quit. All of my employees have car bombs underneath their car. If they ever quit, it goes off. Also, they drove. I was yelling at my producers, so now I don't know. They drove off with the car, but I don't know if it went through the glass or not. So you can rewind it. Let me know. You could write a comment. You could do that in the comments section on Spotify. Just let that be known. What happened. I'll read them. Let other people know what happened. Oh, good. I'm back in the movie. And I'm always in doing the radar that Terminator does. And so I spot this yellow Hummer. And it's parked in the middle of the night. I'm like, that's weird. Yellow Hummers at night are usually kept in a garage. But that's not the only thing that I find really weird here. There is, I kid you not, 27 3/4 lit cigarettes, no filter on the ground. And now I'm a really good cop. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Who would only smoke 25% of a cigarette and then flick it on the ground still lit? It's just no tobacco user would do such a thing. Now I know that a pack of cigarettes back in this day was $4, which is pretty cheap. Actually, it might have been $2.50. Gas was at an all-time low of like $1.25. These were good times, guys. And I know that even during the good times, you didn't throw away 27 cigarettes. But at this point, it does look pretty bad. I am, whatever race Steven Seagal is, arresting a black man. As a cop, it doesn't look good, but that was the only way that we could get Cindy Crawford to do this cameo. And I'd say it was worth the risk, honestly. Anthony Anderson, he came out unharmed. He went on to protect the world from Transformers when Megatron and Megatron's best friend, I think Shockwave. No, Soundwave was in part one. When he came in, they tried to take over the world, but Anthony Anderson, he learned hacking skills, and I mean, he stopped it, but he really ruined this drug deal. But I knew that DeWalt toolboxes, they are bulletproof. Back when I was a kid, my dad would have me hide behind his toolbox, and then he'd fire all sorts of caliber guns at me, and we would see what was bulletproof, and then I used that knowledge for all the movies I worked on. Um, now remember how that time that I said DMX, he learned all his fighting from me? Well, DMX is the bad guy in the movie, and now he's got to fight me. So imagine my own student, like, he's got to fight me. And, like, the inner turmoil, me, a great teacher, having to fight my own student. There's nothing worse than what a student could ever go through. Well, really, me, the adult teacher. Yeah. This guy also fought me with, well, not my student, DMX. Sensei DMX is what he would go on to be. But the other guy, who's what I imagine all Italian New Yorkers look like, he attacked me with a concrete blade. It was like a miter saw, but concrete. It's what construction workers use. I gave Stallone the idea. I give a lot of ideas out, guys, for a working man would use that in a weapon. And, like, he's a construction guy. It's Stallone wrote it down. I don't know if he ever did anything with it. Uh, one time when I was doing karate in France, there was a young director there who watched it, and
Can I laugh in your face?
he wrote me a letter by pigeon that he put it in his movie. It was a horror movie. It was high tension. He needed a title for it, and I told him that the movie was really intense, and it he gave me some high tension while watching it. Well, he then sent me a free poster that was 27 inches by 40 inches, double sided, and it now hangs up in my Seagal studio. High tension, the movie. It's a really scary movie. I still don't understand the twist to the movie. All right, so now we're in the movie with a bunch of other New Yorkers, and they're tasing each other. They're sizing each other up, trying to decide who's the biggest man of them all as they throw money on the floor like they do to their New York stripper whores that they call them when they're really New York working class gals who are just trying to make a living. And yet these guys still want to bust their shit down. I don't want no part of their silly games where they think that just because they could tase me without a shirt on, that I'm not man enough to take it. I invented this game. We used to play this game on the middle school playground. So now we're a bunch of buff guys without our shirts on. And I'm not even gonna take mine off. I'm just gonna roll my sleeve up and be like, go ahead, hit me right here on my wrist. And he doesn't do it. He hits me in my stomach like some big jerk. And he even turns the volume up even higher. And I go down. I go down to one knee. But it took that whole time I was talking like 10 seconds. And I was like, motherfucker, you gonna tase me? So then I broke his knee. After I broke it, I then broke his elbow and made him shock himself. Oh, great. Here's Michael J. White. Acts like he can beat me up. You know what I say to that? Yeah, this guy comes out with, being all 5'8", like some sort of hobbit with pythons that are like 14 inches, like some sort of garden gnome. Yeah, and some sort of goatee, like he belongs to people that live in the mountains and mine. Fucking Michael J. White. Piece of shit. Alright, so not much is going on in the movie right now. I won that fight, even if Michael J. White had to go in there and help me out. Whatever. I had it. He did just come out of the shower, just saw two wolves about to go at it, knew that I, a werewolf, would have won. But right now, I'm guessing in the movie that there's a bunch of dirty cops on the force. And I'm a good cop who won't let it stand, even if they got me on traffic duty right now, directing kids to get to the school. But I take this job very serious. 1 out of 7 schools experience a deadly traffic stop massacre. And if it wasn't for whistleblowers like myself, working the long hours of, I don't know, 8 to 11:30, that's 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. We protect the children. If not, fucking one Corvette going backwards. trying to outmaneuver a cop, slaughters a bunch of 12-year-olds. It's sad. Imagine being 12 and you just watch The Empire Strikes Back. You're like, oh man, little Billy, he's gonna come over this weekend on Friday. We're gonna have a sleepover, and we're gonna be in our Star Wars pajamas and our Star Wars sleeping bags. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna sleep over and watch how this ends. Because we haven't watched Return of the Jedi. We made a blood pact. We spat at our blood pops, and we took the pocket knife that I found for my older brother, Martin Seagal. We cut open our palms with the spit, and we shook on it. But then little Billy gets massacred by one of these goddamn Corvettes. And the Corvette kills him. And now he doesn't know how Luke defeats the evil Empire. He doesn't know what happens to Luke and then the war between his dad, Darth Vader. Little Billy doesn't find that out. And now I, 12-year-old Seagal, living amongst these monks who have copies of VHS movies around these time periods. I dedicate my life to the badge. And I started out to ensure that no other little Billies happen again. No other little Billies will make a blood pact to see what happens in Return of the Jedi with their friend that weekend. They're not going to watch the movie by themselves. They're going to wait. They're going to wait to figure out how it ends to the very end. And that's true brothership right there. And if it wasn't for that goddamn fucking Corvette slaughtering them, we would know today what happened in Return of the Jedi. But we don't know. Because it took his life, so it's no joke, alright? Cross guards are no joke. They're the hardest workers. They're the hardest goddamn workers in professional officism. That's why I became one. Excuse me. I need a minute. This is really rough. Having post-traumatic Seagal disorder. It's PTSD. It's really... You wouldn't understand what I'm going through right now. I'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by Steven Seagal's collars and choking chains and leashes. That's right, collars, choking chains, and leashes. The Steven Seagal brand are made with the finest yak leather for everything that you need. These choking collars are the kind that David Carradine wish he would have bought back in the day. That's right, choking collars. StevenSeagal.com. They're today's sponsors of today's episode of Steven Seagal's Seagullies. Now, back to your show. Okay. I think I'm fully recovered now. Really cool sponsor there, though. Should definitely check that website out. And definitely, support them. They're really good people. Trust me. So now we're back in the movie, and there's, once again, nothing's happening. I kept telling Andre, who I called Andy, the director, I was like, Andy, baby, we need more gunfights. We need more karate chops. There's all this exposition. I don't know where to take the character right now. I mean, there's crooked cops everywhere. I'm a clean cop. Michael Jai bitch is over there, and but we're not doing anything with the story. How does it resonate? When can we get to more gunfire? And he told me that this would be a good chance to, prove to the world that, yeah, we could have a dramatic side to the element. And he told me he wanted me over there. So away we went. Oh, the baddie of a cop captain. She's in the men's locker room. Uh-oh. Looks like I've been a bad boy. I'm gonna show her my whistle. She's so into this. This is riveting stuff here. Oh, she too just said that she's not gonna let me out without a leash. Do I know of a place that she could get those? Just go back to the ad. It has the website. They didn't pay me for 2 ad slots. They only paid me for 1. That's all they get. Unless they pay me for more. Look, the right price. Steven Seagal's open up for business. Fun fact about me. I always fall asleep with a 9mm Beretta under my pillow. I also sleep on futons. And if I'm not on a futon, I'm in a sunbed. Where a double barrel is underneath the sun bed. The 9mm is still underneath the pillow. Nunchucks and spears are directly behind the backboard. What do they call those these days? Headerboard? Headboard? I tell you what, in the boardroom is where you get head. Like Hollywood boardrooms that I run when I make movies. I get head in there. That's the perks of being in Hollywood. I ate a real ham and cheese sandwich for this scene in the diner. I requested 7 takes. They had 7 sauces. I wanted to see which sauce was better on the sandwich. The sweet mustard, the yellow mustard, the brown mustard, the Irish stone mustard, the spicy mayo, the white people mayo, golden barbecue sauce. The spicy mayo was the best. It was the first sandwich I had. Thinking back, that was probably like the best sandwich I've had on set. Now I think about it, I'm gonna go back there. You're hearing it here first. Next movie I'm in, which rumor has it, it might be with Jean-Claude Van Damme. We're gonna eat a sandwich in that same diner. Fuck it. We're gonna go to this same strip club as well. I mean, win in Rome, What works, works. This is what the people want. Strippers and good sandwiches. I wouldn't argue with it. Oh my god. They're painting each other. I don't remember whose idea this was, but they're a goddamn cheat. It only got better. They put them on the glass, people. And now there's titty paint on the glass. There's titty residue on the glass. Mother of God. I think that guy is in a wrestling now. This, oh, no, that's not Shaq. I thought Shaq was in the movie. These are kind of fun. It's kind of like, you remember when like John Madden he'd watch football, right? But as he was watching football, he was telling you what football was and what was happening. But then he'd doodle on the screen. Well, the screen in this instance is your ears, and I'm doodling them with my vocal cords. This is art that you and I were experiencing together. This is magic happening. Just bathe in it. Just like those strippers are going to need to bathe in order to get that pain off. DMX has a laundry size basket amount of money in this scene. Um, I'm fairly certain this was just money he learned from album sales for Cold as Hell, Hotter Than Hell, or whatever that was called, that album. That's really good. It's red. Might have been his second album or third. All this information could be found on Spotify. Anywho, so that he got the money that day and he had to count it anyways, and we were filming the scene. So he brought in the money counter thing that the bank has, and rubber bands, and a Colt 45, steel silver. Fucking gorgeous. Now, this is when I decided in my sweatpants that I was gonna show up to the club. You see, the trick is when you wear sweatpants to the club and it gets hot and sweaty, and that 100% cotton starts to really cling to your inner thighs and your black belt regions. Well, now there's no friction between you and whomever you find yourself bumping and grinding with in the club. So always make sure that you're wearing sweatpants in the club. You'll thank me. Oh, this is when that wrestler and I got into a wine bottle fight. I ordered the pina, and he ordered the red wine. We then tried each other's wines, and for some reason, we just got into a fight. It was crazy, but that's how things go on set. 1 minute, you're sharing a wine with me, and the next minute, we're in the fight of our lives. But it's a good thing that I can do a perfect somersault. If you've ever seen a man do a somersault on top of another man, then you've never seen it like me. I also liked in this club, we filmed with real chains. Whips and chains excite me. At this point, I'm just beating the shit out of everyone. It's like they found every 325 plus guy in the LA area. We hired them, and then we went, good luck. Because we were like, here's all 5 of you. Do whatever you can, but be warned. Steven Seagal doesn't hold back. The whips, I was wrapping around my knuckles, handing out uppercuts. Most movie sets, they use what's called sugar glass. It's where they make like rock candy, but it's like painted glass. And they'll throw the actors through that, but not us. We actually use the same glass that's in the Pope Mobile, and that's what we throw our actors through. So, our actors can be thrown by me through Pope Mobile glass. And then they signed the contract. They knew what they were in for. Oh, DMX and this other guy, they got into a fight, right? But their guns didn't go off. That could be divine intervention. But you know what isn't? You know what doesn't jam? Lead pipes. And that's what Anthony Anderson comes through with. A lead pipe to the back of the head. Lead pipes don't run out of bullets. Brought to you by Exit Wounds. Anthony Anderson doesn't know parkour. He told us he did, and that he'd be able to do a front flip over the dumpster and then twirl and, high tie it off his sides over the gate. First try, nothing. Just fell right through a fucking box. Couldn't even get on top of the dumpster. Wedged himself in between two dumpsters. He stayed there all night. It rained that night. It was cold. The rats chewed off his shoes. It was the Kobe. Um, what's those shoes that start with an A called? Adidas. They were the Kobe Adidas of that year. Real popular. Fucking gone. Remy. Not Remy, but Remy's like trash brother and his trash dad. They're the ones rumored to have eaten the shoes. This was when they were lost from Remy for those long 18 months when they got separated. While Remy was off on his own little adventure, things were much harder for Remy's brothers and dad. And them not having their poison control guy. Fucking scary. You're not missing much. Right now, in the movie, I'm still wearing sweats. And I they let me negotiate this guy, and they didn't let me fight him. It was like the dumbest thing ever. Everyone knows sheer brutality is the only Steven Seagal way to get answers out of a perp, out of a witness's family, a victim's family, a victim's witness, family, friend. But no, I had to do it by the books. And I just walked out. There was nothing else I could do. Meanwhile, the corrupt cops, they're at the corrupt bar, having corrupt beers. They're all drinking imports. Not a single one's drinking anything American. Fucking bunch of corrupt communist cops. Can't be trusted. Now a guy didn't even know who Babe Ruth was. Can you believe that? Oh, Michael J. Bitch just showed back up. Don't worry. His mustache, look at it. It doesn't fully connect. He can't grow a mustache. That's so funny. Look at him. His stupid goatee's not even connected. It's like he's waiting for the Tetris piece, which is his facial hair, to fall together to make a full goatee, but it doesn't happen. Michael J. White, he can't even grow a mustache. I don't have to grow one. You look at this face. It's a pure cinder block. Have you noticed how no one punches it? Look at the sharp angles. Look at the chin. If you even try to go at it, what's going to happen is you're going to break your entire fist. Legally, no one's allowed to punch me in the face. It's under federal law. Executive Order 96, Article A, Section A through C. Now, right now, our corrupt cop, he's got a gun at his neck because he's working with the gang leader, DMX. And DMX is like, hey, he knows that me, Steven Seagal, is onto him. And he doesn't need that. DMX needs no cops. He means no fucking cops on this trail. That way the deal's one more deal, then he can go clean. He'll make this last big gig. And this is, you need to get this cop on your payroll. And I wasn't going to. Or you gotta put him in a body bag. And yeah, he's laying it out. He doesn't want Social Security. It might get voted away. I mean, I don't know. But it seems weird that something like that is just gonna, that could even be voted on to be like, hey, you don't need this anymore. Like, maybe we shouldn't be doing that to our people. But then it would be, now, I insisted that this bar, it had to have a bull mechanic, one of those ratty bulls. I was in a bar in Texas and they had one. But the problem was everyone was wearing like star spangled tops. And I was like, what if it was a mechanical bull, but all the babes were topless and they rode the mechanical bull? And Andy, he loved the idea. So it was the first scene we shot in the movie. It really set the tone of the movie for the day. Like, hey, this is what we're going for. This is art that you're going to be part of. These are real mechanical bulls, and these are real actors riding them without tops on. And the camera is going to film them in 24 frames per second. The aperture light is going to be set to a mute blue. This is really going to let people know, to remind them of the blue that we support with the badge. And this is a police drama, and that the NYPD Department of Police would never be forgotten. And that's what these ladies were doing. God bless them. God bless USA. And God bless Salt Lake City, Mitt Romney, president. Thank you. Thank you. Now, what's crazy is our raven-haired baddie, she's having a toast with one of the head bad cops. But don't worry, I showed up and I got a really cool pullover and some really nice denim on. Really nice. I mean, it fits. And I'm telling you, the boots, they really go with it. But these jeans are mean mugging the mayor, who is also, I think, the head cop that is corrupted. I'm not, I don't pay attention to the political regions outside of that of Mitt Romney. So I really don't know what his job is. But I'm taking his seat, making him go to the women's restroom. I'm stealing his wine, and I'm going to flirt with the baddie. There has been sexual tension this entire movie. You're looking at me. I'm looking at you. You have lips. They're not on mine. Come on now. What are we doing? What's this song and dance? I could be kissing you tenderly on the neck. You could be stroking me tenderly in the. Yeah, that's how that goes. Now, I know what you're thinking. Any minute now, I'm gonna shoot a bullet, or I'm gonna rip someone's arm off, or I'm gonna bend someone's like wrist backwards, and then all of the veins from the bottom of the wrist are gonna pop out, and they're gonna geyser everywhere. But just wait. Just keep waiting. Because we gotta show that the bad cops, when they're not being bad and doing bad guy deals, what they do is they lift weights and get all sweaty together, and they talk about all their bad guy deals in a room together. There is no, like weights in gyms, they ascend, right? So they'll go from like 10 pounds to 25 pounds to 50 pounds to like 100-pound plates. Well, in our gym, we made sure to only have 50s and above because anything else would be for pansies. Um, this is ensure that you get the maximum grease out of your oily bodies, and make sure that your hammered mystique, it's glycerine, it's showing. Your regions, they are pulsating. One could say these are all very good. Any other gym, like, I don't know, cross-fitting gyms that do ballet with weights, I don't know. You'd have to talk to that Sven guy. He's over at Spoils of Horror. He's lucky I even know what his little podcast is called. To know that Steven Seagal knows your podcast. That's a pretty good uh, thing to know. You're welcome. But he does ballet with weights, and he skips with them, and then he pretends to sweat, and then post pictures on him on Instagram with like hashtag blessed, hashtag new day, hashtag new me, hashtag uh, green tea for life in a Cepha. No, probably like an X Pro 2 filter. Saturation is probably at like a negative 57. Brightness, it's turned up at modest 13. Post art. Oh, great. Now Michael J. White and DMX, they're working in a fabric cutting place. All these orders, they went to Joanne Fabrics. R.I.P. in peace. I'll miss them. We would just buy them by the roll. Uh, the yarn deals weren't the best unless you were doing it by bulk back then. Now, the t-shirt. I forgot that we wrote this part. The t-shirts are they're dipped in liquid heroin, and then we after they're dipped in the liquid heroin, we vacuum seal them, and we bought all the vacuum sealed materials from Billy Mays off the TV. Put the shirts in them, and we vacuum sealed the the heroin laced t-shirts. And then the drug dogs, the drug dogs don't suspect a thing, right? So then, fuck, this is hard, guys. It's brutal, actually. I'm sorry. They then extract the liquid heroin from the shirts to sell on the streets. These were dark times. Very hard times. The kids on the streets you were thinking it was just a regular shirt, but nope. They're playing basketball and overdosing. You know, right there on the court. They're in the middle of horse. They were on S. And fucking, the heroin got them because it leaked into their skin as it was extracted to their souls as they sweated, and that's what made the heroin activate. So many little kids died. Now, once again, there's literally nothing going on in the movie. DMX is buying stuff off the dark web, I think. Tom Arnold is my IT guy because I think he worked at Circuit City. And Circuit City, they taught him a lot about hacking, surveillance, making deals with good cops, not crooked cops. The beat that's playing during the movie right now, this was mixed in a California studio. I was the one that tracked the song. I laid the beats, layered them. It's in a 4/4 setting. Took about 72 hours total to fully write, compose, track, master the whole kabam song, because the movie was coming out that Friday. And unbeknownst to us, this scene it was pure silence. And I was like, well, I'm already making a hip hop techno demo. Let me hit the studio now and I'll reawaken with a fatty beat. And that's the song we got. I was really proud of it. And that's why I specified it right now in this song, in this track. We decided to have a car chase. It's been a minute. Beautiful van. I mean, they're wrecking it up. They wrecked up a beautiful truck. But don't worry. I'm pretending I'm asleep, right? They wrecked me in my truck. And they're going to kidnap me. But back in my days of learning the ancient sleeping technique of nap zitsu, I'm able to put myself in another state of being. And during that state, I am able to go limp with my body. They think I'm a possum. They think this guy's out. And then they let my feet be free, like any fool would with a great North American Midwest possum. But arise is the little possum, and his foot comes into play, kicking his opponent, stabbing his opponent with a needle, making his other opponent get hit by a parked vehicle. These are the ways of Nat Zitsu Possum, Northern American beast. The legs do all the work, the back of the head. It crows up as a car unleashes. Maniac driving will happen, and I am unleashed. I will gather myself up and steer this vehicle, only to make it do a kickflip that a beautiful van may it RIP this Dodge. No. And my feet now possess the pistol. I will shoot myself free and away from the soon to be exploding van. Talk and roll is what saved my life. RIP in peace, that van. It looked like a 1970s Dodge Ram. Well, not Ram, but Dodge van. Popular in that year. Known for their capabilities to haul lumber and microwaves. Once again, it's round two. DMX versus Steven Seagal. He might have had the upper hand, but now I got the Seagal hand.
Can I laugh in your face?
He uppercutted me with his whole head. His entire skull uppercutted me. Who does that? That's illegal. Now he just headbutted me again, this son of a bitch. Now his head just went in between my legs. I don't know what this mastery is. I think he's wanting to work a deal. He stopped hitting me with his head. So I decided to follow him into. Oh, all right. So, like, on the outside, it was just a small door. You know, you could probably get like a 13-inch entertainment stand through the doorway. Yeah, it's small. It's got a keypad, and oh my God, it opens up and it's huge on the inside. I mean, this guy's got like that apartment warehouse that you always saw, that you always want to know how they had. He's got it. And it's in like a trailer. This is amazing. He has, oh my God, Cindy Crawford works for him. And she has like 9 monitors. Okay. It's obviously been a minute since I remember this part of my life and when we filmed the documentary and what was going on. But Cindy Crawford was hacking, and she hacked with 9 monitors. It's different stuff going on. She's got surveillance. I mean, it's like the Batcave, but with Cindy Crawford. And I think DMX is Alfred. And her keyboard it's color coded. That way, if you're playing like Counter-Strike, or maybe you're playing Deus Ex or AVP 2, you can kind of know what triggers do everything. By triggers, I mean the keypads, and then your mouse kind of leads the way. So, DMX isn't a cop, but he is snitching to a cop. And that is not. Michael Jai Bitch was a traitor. I knew he was a bad guy. I fucking knew it. This stupid piece of shit. Next time I see him, I swear to God. Oh. Okay. So during this part, we decided James Bond movies have a lot of gadgets in them. So what if we had me wear like a little gadget, a little hidden camera? You know, in the 90s, Apple was really making technology smaller and smaller. And so this thing was like the size of my mouse that I used for playing Half-Life. And I would use the mouse, and this camera. So I use the camera, right, as a mouse. That is a camera. And I put it in my shirt pocket. And the shirt pocket, I just have a bunch of pins. So I just look like a normal IT nerd with a big old breast pocket. And I have pins because nerds write stuff down all the time and they need to color code their pins because they're dorks and they know it. But really, I'm an undercover FBI cop, and that's how I hide my camera. And now I'm gonna get all the evidence I need to bring down this whole goddamn police force. Yet, for some reason, we're still negotiating this entire, plan. Oh, yeah. The goth baddie's back, and so is the Hummer. I know what I'd like to give her. I'll let the denim do the talking. The boots will do the walking. All right. So this was my big moment. I was gonna let her know what's going on, but I had to ensure that she would guarantee a date with me. And so, first, oh, god damn it. A guy can't even get a ride to Fuddruckers without an automatic shotgun ruining it. The corrupt cops knew I was going to snitch, and now they're on our tail. I mean, there's explosions. They were shooting machine guns that are not Salt Lake City approved. They were shooting automatic shotguns. Did I mention that? And they weren't even approved by the city either. I mean, this Land Rover is just done for. So many bullet holes. Great. Now another person has an auto shotgun. Uh, all I got is this lousy Glock 19 right now because my Beretta 9mm, I sleep with it underneath. It's my pillow. Bad God. This is my, in case I get into a shootout in a parking garage gun, the Glock 19. They got Colt 45s that they're shooting at me. I mean, they're fucking up my ride. We had no choice. We jumped. We're on the third floor. We jumped the vehicle right onto the Pride pedestrian street. And I had to ensure that I let her know she's a woman. She's a bad driver. Why there was a perfectly good exit, and she's the one that had to go on the third floor and jump. And let me tell you, classic woman, not knowing how to drive. Sorry, guys. It's just we were shooting at each other a lot. I mean, things got really intense. I did. I wasn't even wearing a seatbelt for these entire scenes. I mean, the goth baddie, she had to hold me. And then, oh, oh no. This is horrible. I had to stop, drop, and roll again out of the moving vehicle. I did it, but she didn't get the memo. And then there was another car that was parked, but it was a police truck, fire truck. Its extension light was out. Her face, it just got smashed into the window, and the window then got smashed into the fire truck ladder. The goth baddie's gone, guys. I forgot she died. I'm never gonna get a chance to take her to Fuddruckers in the sequel. I forgot. It's gonna put a 21 gun. No, even better. I'm gonna put a 21 Seagal karate slop. No, a 21 gun. No, a 21 fucking karate chop Seagal salute in his honor. Yeah, I'd say we definitely nailed that one. All right. The good news, the guy that's not Louis Gossett Jr., now he's chasing me. It was an honor to work with not Louis Gossett Jr., but he tried to decapitate me with his vehicle, and I had no choice but to jump over his 9 foot long Ford Taurus 4-door sedan 1994 model. Yeah, it was a hard jump. I had to use my chi to boost my accelerators in my boots to make me hurdle and clear the entire vehicle and land with my fist slightly touching the ground while I stood and I stared there looking dead forward as the vehicle ran head on into the brick wall behind me, killing fake Louis Gossett Jr. and co. These were dark times, my friends. But finally, the good law is starting to prevail. And when I said that I would bring justice to this whole city, people are now starting to listen. And I am now assembling my own team of vengeful, rogue, vigilante anti cops. DMX is my mole, and so is Anthony Anderson. They are inside the building. And DMX, God bless his soul, he is mean mugging Michael J. Bitch the entire scene. I mean, he's gonna open up a briefcase, and what's on Michael J. Bitch's face? Sadness. And that's because DMX is just gonna mean mug him the entire time. His soul's leaving his body because he's never been mean mugged so hard in his whole life. We were inspired by this scene with the drug deal going down, with all the drugs, kind of by like RoboCop, because at one point RoboCop was in a drug facility, and Detroit was having that problem up until OCP. They came in and they built him, and he went in and he shot up the whole place. That's where I learned a lot of my tactics as well. at our police district training room, we would just watch that scene in the room on a little 13-inch VCR, CVR combo. Those scenes would be like how we knew how to go into a drug deal. Guns a-blazing. That way the coke would go everywhere. Also, there was always going to be a double cross. But if there's one thing I could always count on, is I would triple cross the double cross. No one would suspect that there was another sleeper double agent involved, which is who was me this whole time. Oh no. And what's that? The double cross is arguing with the single cross as the triple cross, aka me, stays there, knowing that now I've got the enemy of my enemy about to attack. Yes, it was all part of my secret plan. Yeah, but don't worry, I always bring back up. Yeah, that's right. I brought in a quadruple cross. 3 plus 4 equals 7, which is greater than 1. You're all right. The Steven Seagal logic has won. We went in, and it was guns a-blazing, coke everywhere, automatic weapons. They were flying, even pistols that make no sense. They fired in automatic succession. Blood is the only thing that ran these streets. Well, any like empty shells. They ran the streets too. Bullet casings. I hate mazes. I hate laundry facilities. I hate mazes in laundry facilities. I didn't want to do this scene. They made me wear a bulletproof vest, which I disagreed with. They made me get shot in the spine, which I also disagreed with. But here we are, in disagreement. All my friends, though, my elite squad of anti-terrorist cops, they're being picked apart one by one. Oh, slow dives, propane tanks, bullets, explosions. We always prevail. It was a damn shame we had to shoot that cop 5 times. Deer slugs. Really, it was to get the blood on the walls just right. We painted them that evening with corrupt cop. DMX, he had to hide behind a whole pallet full of unprocessed powdered heroin. Thankfully, it was all bagged, but that's when the gunfight ensued. All that unfiltered powdered heroin started to go into the air. The man was high off his brains. And while he was high, I got into a paper cut sword fight with Michael Jai Bitch. So there we were, both in our own predicaments, our lives, wondering how did this happen. We had come so far, only for it to possibly end like this, covered in heroin powder and possibly chopped up into paper pieces. DMX, he was smart though. He put his belt, he tied it to his shotgun. He blind fired before Gears of War did it. Michael Jai Bitch is doing the splits. Can't even do them standing up. Try to act like he knows sword fu. Only I have ever studied in the ancient art of using really large fabric cutters as swords. Hell, I'm the one who invented it. DMX volunteered to have his face just pushed into all that unfiltered heroin powder. Yeah, they caked him. Couldn't work with him for the rest of the week. I don't know where he went. You'd have to ask him. He disappeared. 7 days. I mean, these are just epic moments after epic moments. We've got where Michael Jai Bitch is trying to get off via helicopter. But I'm not gonna let that happen. No, sir. I'll get on that helicopter. I'll ride it. Or that's what I thought. Instead, roofs. They have a lot of air stacks. I'll just tie it to one of those. DMX was like broken glass. They're really good at being daggers. So he stabs the guy in the knee, which if you're going to stab a guy, if you're on the ground, the knee is a very effectful, really good spot. Because then what you're going to do is you're going to slice. I want you to put your left hand underneath your left knee. And you feel that part that's like not a bone and not quite a vein, whatever that part is. Imagine you got a knife, a dagger, and you get sliced there. Oh, you're going down. It's not going to feel good. I had enough of Michael Jai's shit. It was Michael Jai's shit at that point. So I stabbed him with a helicopter and a pipe. And ironically enough, DMX, he decided to fight an Iron Man with a jacket and a twirl, and he punctured him with a 9-inch nail through the throat. The man was hurt. We did it. We cleaned up the streets. All in one. Me and Professor Tommy Arnold. We're going to solve war cases together. We're going to create sex bots. We're going to make sure that Anthony Anderson got witness protection. DMX was going to get paid in a really soft velvet bag with velvet rope filled with encrusted white diamonds. That was his acceptance of payment for his good deeds. I cleaned up the streets. and went back to the streets of Milwaukee to fight more crime. I had Glenn's New York, just like Spider-Man. The comic books that they wrote about me were all based on little bits of my life, to and fro, from conception to present. You can pick those up at your local comic book store and make sure to support Free Comic Book Day. Local comic book stores use it as a marketing strategy to bring more traffic. They let the casuals know that, hey, this is a really rad place. And you pick up Steven Seagal comic books there. I also graduated from my AA classes. I'm no longer angry. Well, that is unless you double cross me. But that never happened after this movie. And Dr. Tommy Arnold, he went on to marry that other doctor who tried to tell me not to be angry. I also got new jeans. If you could see my knees in these jeans, I mean, these two knees, I mean, I'm gonna have to go and get a concealed and carry license. Because these are deadly weapons that need to be concealed. Now, Tommy Anderson. Well, that's what the name of the show was, where Anthony Anderson and Tommy made a show together. It was, you remember how, like, when Mallrats ended and Brody got his own show? Well, that's how this movie ended. So, that's a wrap into the movie. You did it. That's our first Seagully episode. Hopefully this isn't like one of those SNL bits where they're like, hey, Pat, it's a funny 3-minute bit you got there. Be really cool if you make an entire movie out of that and then make, 88 minutes of that 3-minute joke over and over again. And if you made it this far, God bless you. God bless the Soviets and their fights against corporations that happen to be in Ukraine and whatever their business may be that is against their best interests, who are also double crossing cops. I don't like you. Just know that. And that's the end of this Seagully. Make sure to like and subscribe to give me back my action horror movies. To be action. And whatever other shows come out, they're putting out everything. And you gotta go rate them. Spotify. Rate them on Apple. That's the only place. And Spotify, leave comments. And I think you can leave reviews. I don't know. Yeah, that's all. And remember, stay silent.